Hello everyone, welcome back to Sunless Skies. Let's continue. So I think last time was all about failing to get to the sun. And I believe we're at the Most Serene Mausoleum, or did we go back to London? I forget. Yeah, we're still at the Serene Mausoleum. So, should we buy some more? What do we have in our hold? We have a bunch of munitions and tea. Tea is for the sun, the munitions were the bargain here. Right. Okay. Let's head west from here. We think the sun must be up like around here somewhere. And sure, we can go around to the whatever this is called. The rotunda. The nave. We're actually working our way towards another level. It's been a long time since we got a level. Like, I feel probably the last two levels have been longer to achieve than the previous 10. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it doesn't seem like it would be by much. I hear noises. I think that's fighting. Oh. Okay. Baker's Trust. I think that's a monitor, so it's fighting something. We actually have a good chance of being able to get in, because our stats are so high now. And we find a box with a tiny amount of sovereigns. Something off to the right. A vision of the heavens. What's going on over here? Oh, we have a monitor about to die. Well. That's our first monitor kill. And a resurrectionist. That's a new one also. Oh, is that the sun? The old sun, maybe. The Ministry monitors are delicate, elongated vessels housing a telescopic array of lenses and sounding devices. In addition to aiding the revenue men in tracking smugglers, they perform other, less public services. Well, we can't do this one, so search for secrets. We gained another stovepipe nameplate, and nothing else. The files are intact, but I mean, we would have gotten this just from killing the monitor, I thought. Oh, okay, so it gives me options. Okay. So we can gain a cryptic benefactor or a chart of illicit activities. And okay, so we need to spend gossip to do stuff. And this is spending secrets to get a chart. What do I can't tell what I have. But we have a lot of gossip. Let's go ahead and just get a cryptic benefactor. This is a Syrian enigma, but it doesn't seem like that's yeah. Oh, I lost 2 secrets there also. Oh yeah, I guess it said both of them. Oh well. But hey, cryptic benefactor is better. Okay. A resurrectionist. The resurrectionists haunt Memoriam, plundering its graves for corpse goods and cadavers. They sell the valuables to pawn shops and the bodies to disgraced scholars, deranged artists, and grisly collectors. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh, rare chance of getting a roll of Thirsty Bombazine. Maybe we can find a way down and go on the outside around. I want to go to the sun, but this is the sun. It's just the wrong sun. Wow, look at this. A windswept habitation. Oh, we're near something that's giving us terror. Repair hole, we don't need to. Potentially get more crew? Oh, we got some carefully packed munitions, sure. Look at this. Bully's Acre. Humble wooden coffins pepper the sky here. This is a Bully's Acre, a pauper's graveyard. There's little room for the dead in London. So pay respects or break open a coffin. No, pay respects. Yeah, there's little coffins here. Ooh, that's creepy. Okay, but apparently, is there an interactable point where we can view the sun? I mean, I'm seeing it right here, but like, is there something I can do to talk about it? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. It's up and up there, but that's too far in the wrong direction. Hello? Are you a resurrectionist? Ooh. Okay, they have a fast-firing weapon. That hits hard, too. But they're not as tanky as the Marauders, I don't think. Glass cannony. Okay. Strip it for parts if we had mining, but we don't. Tales of Terror. We needed 15 Tales of Terror for something. It's all dark in here. Ooh, you are near the sea and the sky. And I saw a fluke over there. What is that? Haven't seen him do that before. Oof. This one seems like it's more tanky than the others we fought. Oh, maybe. Maybe not. Reduce terror. We've been doing this one to get more understanding of the commingling of the choirs. I'm kind of curious to this, but maybe we should let ourselves get nightmares at some point. No, I'm sure it'll happen eventually. We do have 2 Searing Enigmas. But let's keep on getting otherworldly artifacts and get more insight. Well, not this time. No, we did gain 2. You've felt a Scornfluke's tormented musics. And I think we got all of it. We just also gained terror, perhaps. That was an odd failure. Says there's something shiny up here. It's a rock we can't mine. Just some hours. Interesting. I wonder what that is. We do have butchery, I believe. No, I don't. I must have turned it off. The Sunless Sea. Yeah, we don't have our... We switched it out for assaying, which has been on the balance probably for the better. Ooh. Ooh, look at it! All these ships down there. A stair zigzags down to the sea, where a flotilla of old ships lies moldering, the displeased. And we missed the thing. That was from the first game, right? The Sunless Skies is a sequel. Sunless Seas was the first one. The stair to the sea. A narrow ledge is lodged into the ice here. A stair, thin as a shaft of starlight, plunges into the mist below. This is the stairway down to the flotilla, a makeshift raft of broken and abandoned ships, home to the similarly broken and abandoned. All came through the avid horizon, but were forbidden, for legal reasons, from entering Albion. The nearby Home Office keeps them contained here. Left thus to their own devices, they have formed cults. Okay. It says I need to... Anything that can be eaten or burnt for warmth. Hopefully we have something. The winds rattle the iron railings as though trying to throw you from the stairs into the churning sea hundreds of feet below. You cleave hard to the block of ice. It's chill on your cheek as you make the slow descent. Your fingers are thoroughly frozen by the time you reach the bottom and stand on the rusted iron platform that marks the beginning of the flotilla. The sea all around is shrouded in roiling mists. You can make out boats nearby, bobbing forlornly in the freezing water. Some are roped together, others set apart. Lights sparkle the water. Cultists still dwell on at least some of the old steamships. This platform is deathly silent. No one is here to greet you. Sacrifice hours to appease the burrower below. Needs 5 hours. But we don't have the wrath of the burrower below. We did at one point. Leave an offering when you have not made an offering. Sure. At the height of its powers, the Home Office processed tens of thousands of petitioners seeking entry to Albion. Some are rejected or left to seek appeals or help from Albion, caught in limbo between the office and the gate. Here at the edge of the horizon, in the shadow of the winged statues, detainees leave offerings. Prayers and messages to the world left behind. Supplications to the cultists that dwell on the quiet sea. What should I leave behind? Food? When I am not entirely supralapsarian. Fuel, when there's a cult of the saints. Money, or I could kill somebody when you do not have entirely displeased. And initiate this. There's like 3 different cults here? Give them some fuel. Your stokers glare mutiny, but they comply. Coke is brought from your boilers, ground and sprinkled into water. It sifts through your fingers like grains of falling sand. There's no land here, and no light. A voice in the mists. By not having any initiated. Huh. Your sacrifice was most perspicient. Whatever. The man lowers his hood to reveal a scarred and ruddy face. His eyes twinkle like falling suns. We've been watching from the flotilla. We all agree your offering was worthy to seek the names of the saints with us. If you wanted to learn a truth of the gate, that is. He produces a battered flask from his cloak. I've taken the liberty of bringing the Ungwe. Should you wish to join us. Ungwent? I don't know. So, do we want to be part of the cult of the sanctified? Tell me about the cult of the sanctified. We are but humble acolytes of the saints. They came among us long ago, before we departed for the skies in our folly. Most abandon them, but we pray to let them know that not all have forgotten their names. The jolly anchorite sighs, gazing out on the mists. Perhaps they'll even rejoin us if enough learn their names and recite them here at the gate. Oh. Okay. First you must learn words and stuff your mouth full of them. They shall prepare you to know the names. I anoint your head with chrism and bless my thumb to your lips, for you are hungry for sacral flesh. Ugh. You briefly taste dead skin and salt. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made writing. The Lord said, Go forth and multiply. Sin flourishes in silence, but is washed away by the multiplication of words. Open wider, please. Parchment is stuffed into your mouth. The jolly anchorite beams. Not too hard, was it? You have learnt the first name and met our saint of inks. Our brethren are just this way. Provide fuel and supplies for a feast. Here among the abandoned boats on the quiet sea, the similarly abandoned and forgotten of Albion have made their homes. The cults share this space for warmth and for shelter. Some boats are covered, others converted into makeshift anchorages, refectories, and cells. Hopeful acolytes flock to one ecstatic figure or another, raving about this doctrine or that. Your new friends are one cult among three. The sanctified, the loose collection of souls who follow the jolly anchorite, are communal, fraternal, jovial. The supralapsarians, who follow the illuminating archivist, do everything by their book, when they can agree upon the interpretation. The displeased treat distrust as a virtue, and betrayal as a sacrament. A woman is lying on a wheel that sits atop a pole that rises about over the flotilla. She does not speak, but only watches the gate. Speak to the mystic. The woman lies on the wheel, her eyes on the looming shadows of the gate. She does not bother to look your way as you reach the top of the ladder. Rotting fruits, dried flowers, and tarnished nameplates lie ignored at the edge of the wheel. Ask her for a secret. We need to become a full initiate of the sanctified. Attempt to speak to her. She rolls back her head to gaze at you. Her mouth twitches downward. A hand lolls listlessly in your direction. I do not sense the hunger of a true ascetic in you. Wear that name, the knife, the book. Begone and waste not my time. Her eyes roll back. Return when you have learned something. If one of the cults claims you as their own full initiate, then I might be interested in speaking to you. Okay, every acolyte has a favorite spot in the flotilla to take their kip. The politics of one's sleeping arrangements are complicated. Your choices here will affect the dispositions of the cult towards you. Favor with the cult can generate rewards or new options. Before this, interesting. You may not be able to return for some time. You will lose all your embraced qualities, but your initiate status will not be changed. Oh. I kind of feel like maybe I should have come here with more supplies. The jolly anchorite has made his home in a huge shell dredged from the depths of the sea. He roars as you approach. Come to receive more learning. If you wish to know our mysteries, you must learn the names of the saints. As you progress in our rituals, the names shall be revealed to you. Very few know all the names. I myself have lost some of them. And we need to provide for a feast. But I can't. Because you were selected by one of the leaders of the mystics to uncover their sacred mysteries, you may sleep where you like. Everyone is eager to see what you choose. There isn't much to do here. A cozy berth near an open hearth. Whatever others are doing. A crow's nest. You are strengthened by solitude. It doesn't even tell me which one is the right one for my chosen cult. Let's be friendly. You have pleased the sanctified. Okay. A member of the sanctified invites you to join them. Their berth is small, like a coffin covered in blankets. The evening passes in clouds of smoke so that all of your clothes reek of the bonfire. You wake a good deal more familiar with some of your fellow acolytes than you had been before. I feel like I'm not going to be able to do something until I'm going to get enough favor that we'll be able to have a feast, but I can't really afford to give them a feast. I'm going to leave. Let's approach the gate and see what happens here. We gained a lot of tear. The air is still and frigid. Your teeth chatter. Ice floes drift by in the mists. The gate is far from the flotilla. Your breath freezes in the air. A little craft loosely moored to the rest appears serviceable. Oars nest in the berth. You cut the rope and jump in, pushing out into the mist. The gate rises like a sepulchre. Its statues, twin cowled figures, raise their wings in an arch. Oh, is that it? It's like a little appearance right there. The gate between the statues is gaunt, the color that remains when all of the colors are devoured. It is sealed sarcophagus tight. When you touch it, it sears your fingers with the bitterest cold. It will not open for you. This is the end of the sky. You can go no further. Okay. So this is just I have to wait longer. And there's no shop here. I think we're done. Let's just leave. We haven't sit in contemplation. Maybe there's something here. Why are you here, at the edge of the horizon on an all but empty flotilla, far from the place where you were born, no way back, if you ever wanted to return? How many waited for the gate to open? How many came through, unable to go further, unable to return? Where are they now? Are there any still there? You would need to fly to the gate itself to find out. Let's leave. We need to find the sun. This place is too melancholy for us. But we took a lot of tear there. Should I just go back to the mausoleum? No, let's keep going. Oh, and there's the different cults. Yeah, so the displeased are out here. But I am not going to fail to get to the sun again. We spent 2 hours failing to get to the sun last time. Oh, there's something. Why am I full of terror? Oh, we're probably near the gate itself. We're at 50. I think I'm just gonna head on. There's the super lap Lapsarians. Nope. The Hour of the Wolf. So last time we tried to avoid becoming... Yeah, let's endure this lean, cruel hour. No. We failed that twice now. What is that? Oh my god, that looks not good. Okay, a celestial ruin. Use 2 supplies to maybe find something, or trade a vision of the heavens for a moment of inspiration. I will trade 4 visions of the heavens. Okay, I'll do that. And let's avoid you. Let's just... No, we're not going to avoid you, are we? Like, we've seen one of those before on Attackity. That looks like a dreadnought or a juggernaut or whatever it is. Oh! There's a port! And there's something attacking me from up there also. Come on, I hope there's... You know, maybe some supplies or something? That sounds like a scribe spinster. Yeah, it's a new port. The Home Bureau. We went up a level. The Avid Horizon consists of 3 parts. The Home Office, the Gate, and the Quiet Sea. Oh, okay. Well, first of all... So we're 54, 47. I think we said we wanted to start raising Veils. And let's get Iron up a little more too, if we can. So either Veils Iron or Iron Veils. The blockade of New Winchester. And we assist the stovepipes by running the blockade. We wanted to get this up to 25 though, so we can use the item we got. We could probably do that right now just by shifting. Can we buy stuff here? We can, and we can even buy hours if we want to. But I think... Oh, no fuel though. Only supplies. Well, we'll grab a bunch of them. Alright. The very edge of the high wilderness, the border between now and then, here and there, the skies and earth. The few lonely buildings of the port face the great gate of the Avid Horizon, bordered by 2 vast winged statues. Yeah, it's the same background. I just pointed at my monitor, so, you know, imagine like me indicating that area over there. The gate towers over the shrouded sea that divides the port and the gate. The other side of the gate opens far beneath the earth on the bleak shore of a subterranean sea. London rested there for a while Her Majesty was indisposed with grief. A handful of years ago, though, she led an exodus of Londoners through the Avid Horizon into the sky. You were among them. Do you remember how you came to this place? I was part of the new church. The church and its new bright-eyed clergy was given purpose by Her Majesty's enterprise in the stars. You were to leave old London to its lightless cavern and journey to a place where light might thrive. You were given passage on a ship of priests and deacons, admirals and sailors, joined in the golden fervor of the new sequence. Your bright hymnals sounded through the dark beneath the world. Weeks later, through the northern ice, you reached the gate. Its statues loomed like giants. The door was open, and the space within was filled with suns and stars and light. Port report. The few bureaucrats stationed at the Avid Horizon for one departmental sin or another reside in desperate melancholy. Those detained within the fated confines of the Bureau are almost reconciled to their fate, listlessly hoping for a reprieve from London that will likely never come. Beyond the Bureau, the sea in the sky lingers like morning mist, Exiles dwell there on tethered ships strung together, dwarfed by the eternal and uncaring statues that mark the gate to a home that cannot be returned to. What is it that he's doing? Is this his secondment? Because do you want to go to Carolyn and the Well of the Wolf? I don't know where that is, even. I don't even know where that is. It doesn't say it. But yeah, so your secondment, you want to improve the lives of workers at the Home Office. He'll generate new prospects. I think we will not drop him off then. We're still progressing his story. How could there be a C in the sky? A satisfactory scientific answer is yet to be presented. Theories have sprouted like mushrooms in its place. Some say that when the gate was opened, the Untersee spilled through, filling the sky like the leaky tap fills a sink, until Her Majesty's government was able to plug it. Others believe the sea to be variously the effluvia of the murdered sun, amniotic fluid to support the generation of a new sun, the fault of the Royal Society, an industrial accident covered up by one of the work worlds, the tears of Her renewed Majesty for her dead prince. To reach the sea now, one must travel to the stair to the sea, which we have already done. Well, let's present ourselves. The acting senior probator is responsible for monitoring all those trapped at the Home Office. The detainees forbidden entry to Albion with no way back through the gate. He sits behind a little desk in the echoing hallway of the manor. He keeps 3 things on his desk, a wind-up clock and 2 battered mugs. He surveys you coolly. You're welcome to take a look around, though we have precious little in the way of diversions. Have you been out to the flotilla? I must ask you not to pay too much attention to the cultists. And if you have not, I'd recommend staying away. There are good reasons they were never allowed into Albion. Okay. There's lots of stuff we can do here. Well, let's speak to the prudent observer. He smiles benignly and invites you to join him on the observation deck, on a veranda at the very top of the manor. It is reached via a makeshift elevator, a rickety wicker basket attached to a pulley. The ascent is slow, jerky, and uncomfortably intimate, but the prudent observer does share his humbugs. Out on the veranda, where the fog is thick, the prudent observer tells you of mysterious activity at the gate, of fires out burning on the statues, of chanting when the wind is still. No one emerges from the gate anymore, and no one who enters the gate from this side ever returns. We gain more terror and a savage secret. And unfortunately, we can't talk to the other one. I thought that... Oh well. It was the same icon, but it had different text. Anyway. So we'll have to keep on coming back here to the Avid Horizon and progressing this more. Take T. This will cost me 30 sovereigns. And we lost a decent amount of terror. That's cheap! Ooh. Do it again. Like, that would have cost 100 back at the mausoleum. Good deal. Here, go ahead and just knock it down. Okay. And that's it. We'll have to come back at some other time. We got more supplies, but not more fuel. Now, there were several monsters around, and I hear a scribe spinster somewhere. And a ship with, what were they called? The guests? It's fighting with something. Ooh. Oh, I wish I had my cannery, but I don't. Ooh. Okay, here's the fighting. It's fighting with a monitor. There's a lot going on here. Nice. There's also the other ship up there. You guys gonna deal with that? Recover sheaves of parchment. On the way to another searing enigma. Guys, you gotta deal with this? Like, this seems like the kind of thing you should be worried about. Uh-oh. It's hard. Okay. Oh, that hit really bad. We're dead. Our first death. The hole cracks, the sky pours in. But we're on merciful mode, so we can go ahead and resume from the last autosave. Which should be at Avid Horizon, I believe. Yeah. Well, that's a shame. We've been doing so well at avoiding death. Let's not go that way. I do feel like we need to maybe get some more money and upgrade our stuff. Like, we had a good ship for the Reach, but I'm thinking we have kind of a newbie ship for Albion. Locomotive, I should say, not ship. Excuse me. Oh, what we got? I saw a ship up there. Oh, okay, it's a monitor. Good. I think we probably should have just gone west from the mausoleum. This took so much more time than I thought it was going to. Now I'm assuming that we're gonna be able to buy fuel at the sun. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Hopefully I'm not screwing myself over. I can go over this. A windswept habitation. So we can spend some supplies to maybe do something? Lose some terror? That was worthwhile. We have a... don't remember what the name of it was. Resurrectionist? There it is! That must be the sun. A field of glass fragments. Interesting. I like the aesthetic. It's kind of pretty, if somewhat hostile. What was that? Did I get anything from that? I right-clicked on it, or I pressed R on it. I'm not sure if I got anything. Look at that. It's huge. Must be part of the sun. I saw a ship or something out there. The Clockwork Sun. And apparently it's a horrifying thing. We're taking a lot of terror just by coming near it. The sun, the sun, the sun, the sun, the sun. Clockwork Sun, please have fuel here. Yeah. And we can drop off the tea. And we have more munitions here. Far more than we can take. Let's deal with this first. The dock is rarely used and its maintenance has lapsed. There's evidence of rust and metal strain, but only of non-crucial components. It's safe to stop for now. Once inside the dock, the sun's scouring light is diminished. An outpost on the roaring edge of the sun, shielded from malevolent light by an eggshell of stained glass. Is that why there's stained glass everywhere? That makes sense. As you emerge from your train, suit-swaddled engineers gather, plainly astonished by my arrival. This music. They bombard you with complex questions about how you dealt with dense sunlight and skewed chronosolar fields. Once satisfied, they hand out protective suits to you and your crew. Yours is patched and torn, one boot missing. Ooh. Sunlight seeps like syrup through cracks in the stained glass ceiling. The floor shudders in time with the churning machinery far beneath your feet. The air has a tang of chemicals, bonfires, and rain. Pistons pump, cogs turn, and suit-swaddled figures tend to the engineering, bellowing over the shrieking metal. Port report! In response to your questions, the engineers shrug. The day dawns, the sun brightens, the night comes, the sun dims. What more is there to say? Some of them seem so exhausted they can barely stand. They insist it's proximity to the sun that affects their sleep. You now have one yearning burning, which apparently is the sun? Okay. There's only one story place here. Head toward the sundial-shaped building. Azimuth is an enormous sundial without shadow, its roof topped by a golden shark-fin gnomon. There are still racks of yellowed pamphlets on the walls. It once served as a kiosk, selling tickets to sunspotters, the pilgrims and tourists that were expected to flock here. These days it's more like a temple. Frescoes on the curved walls depict the triumph of the new sun over the old. We have another yearning burning. So that's not the port report. Do I have the port report and a different thing? Yeah, I have a report on the Clockwork Sun, but I also have yearning burning. Is that somewhere? It seems like it's an event. Maybe. I don't know. A figure in a yellow-collared protective suit is delivering a sing-song sermon to mostly empty pews. The dazzled sequencer looks up, delighted at your approach, and hurriedly wraps up his speech. He offers you tea with a flash of 2 white teeth. So Worldbury Ministry is requesting aid. He stammers dizzily to a halt, trailing parables about power lines and stars in ascendance, trains plumed with light. There's no one I can spare. No, none of them. His brow furrows thoughtfully. There's an explosive in the dome. You can take that back with you. It isn't very pretty, but it's quite loud. You can have it if you find it, and if you promise to be very, very careful. It was meant to end the universe, and I've honestly forgotten why they gave it to me. It's hard to tell if the dazzled sequencer means that sincerely. Nevertheless, he details the ritual that must be performed to activate the device. Hall? What do we need from Worldbury? Okay. You'll need to request access to the sun-shattered dome and locate a bomb there. This is gonna definitely give me a tear and cost me crew. What is your role on the sun? You are a priest of the new sequence, he declares. The brightest truth, the wildfire that has swept Albion. He points out the expanse of the sun. There burns a beacon, a savior, an aspect of God. We venerate the clockwork sun and its immortal architect, our empress. I'm here to greet pilgrims and safeguard the souls of our engineers. Azimuth is also the only access route to the sun-shattered dome, an exhibition hall that was built back when we received more visitors. The dome is terribly dangerous, and I advise you to avoid it, no matter how much you hear about the priceless artifacts inside. What is your request? There are many poor souls out there in need of our help. Beleaguered, ignorant masses. I've never met them, but I'm assured they exist. He pauses to wipe his eyes. When we lift them from their contemptible state, perhaps they will come to appreciate the greatness of the sequence. He sends an orderly to fetch a wooden crate. Once it's set down before him, he raps the lid proudly. 600 manuals on how to correctly tie a bow tie. Deliver these to Brabazon Workworld. I'm sure they'll be immensely benefited by their improved understanding of etiquette. One well-intentioned package. At least they can burn them, maybe, for some, heat. Let's request access to the sun-shattered dome. The sequencer obviously takes his role as gatekeeper seriously. He fusses around you, checking you and your crew's gear, tugging on straps, checking for rips, wiping your stained glass goggles with a silk handkerchief. All the while he spouts an endless stream of warnings. Don't enter the Shalimar. Never travel in a group of 3 or fewer. Resist the urge to sing, no matter how fiercely your throat burns. And for the sequence's sake, watch the condition of your suit. And my suit's now at 4. Okay, no Shalimar. Make sure you have at least 4 people. And don't sing. Exhibition halls built to accommodate sunspotter tourists and sequence pilgrims, and abandoned after the dangers of the sun became impossible to hide. I think I attempted them. No, that's how it begins. Priceless paintings hang in bleached rags. Magnificent relics have been left to accumulate glittering glass dust. Is anything still intact? The stained glass sky has collapsed, and unfiltered sunlight gnaws savagely at your hazard suit. It is currently undamaged, though a little shabby. You find your path blocked by a tangle of bleached white foliage. The Shalimar garden exploded from its greenhouse long ago, feeding furiously on the sun's light until it swelled to a jungle. Okay. Search elsewhere. Explore the They said don't go to the Shalimar. Let's try it. Oh, partial success. Acid roses, predatory daffodils, snapping tulips with lamprey mouths, specimens imported decades ago from old London, the kind of common flowers that might be found at a street florist's, but bone white and deadly. Your crew hacks through them all, leaving a swath of slaughtered jungle in your wake. After much sweat and panic, you come upon one of the Shamalar's treasures, hidden in a tangle of pale weeds, an oyster shell encrusted with diamonds. As you approach it, a thorn vine lashes out from the undergrowth and entwines your arm. Call on my crew for help. Ooh, I lost a crew. I gained some tear. Blades descend on the vine again and again, but only some fibers snap. More vines whip from the bushes. One of your crew is dragged screaming out of sight. Finally, the vine holding you breaks. Your crew retreat. For nothing? That's a shame. Investigate the carousel. Like, we have low chances of making any of these happen. Brushing aside glitter dust, you discover a label on the carousel's base. Tempest Prognosticator. Each bottle is similarly labeled Philosopher. Something roils through the glass. You work out the carousel's controls and get it going. Your assembled crew watch in astonishment as the bottles glide and rotate. Black shapes emerge from the liquid and slither up glass tubes. When they reach the carousel's top, a bronze bell tolls. You pull another lever and the carousel winds to a halt. The slimy shapes slide back into the confinement. The bell falls silent. You direct your crew to take one of the bottles from its moorings. Regain the cage catch. And my suit is getting more damaged. We still have 2. There's the bomb. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and collect the bomb. The bomb is not exciting to look at. Before they were glass, the crowd swept past it and accumulated around some other, less powerful bauble. Before they were glass. You gently nudge aside the vitrified body of the lone gentleman who paused to inspect it. It is the size of an ornamental globe in a London club. It is the weight of an angry child resisting being lifted. It rattles slightly as you heave it from the plinth. That's probably fine. You now have a bomb. Return to the Bureau of Entertainments with my assistants. Well, we're down to only 1, so I think I probably should return to safety rather than get down to 0. A figure in a yellow-colored. Okay, yeah, we're back at the sequencer. Well, let's go somewhere else. There were other options. Okay, the strength of the sun needs to be at least 40. Interesting. Does it change? Nope. Okay. What about the glass house? An isolated section of the abandoned exhibition halls has been repurposed to hold not treasures, but prisoners. Each wears a gray smock rather than a protective suit, leaving them utterly undefended from the ravages of sunlight. They sit slumped in unlocked cells, making no effort to escape. Where would they go? Some of the prisoners are shining at the seams. Some have eyes of curdled glass. A fractured face turns to watch you. A few are singing in praise of the sun, mouths bloody and throats tattered. You should perhaps be horrified, but the song wraps tender cords around your mind and numbs you. Glass crunches underfoot. When you lift your boot, you discover a cracked ear beneath. Oh. Speak with the prisoners. You root out one of the newer prisoners, a woman whose mind isn't entirely fractured. Her eyes are shining gold, her fingertips pearlescent. With a calm manner and firm words, you momentarily manage to stop her singing. With a newly focused gaze, she tells you what she's seen. Men shattered, men unmade. It hates us, she says, staring at her glass-tipped fingers. What is the sun? Like, this is kind of feeling kind of like, like radiation, sort of? Has that kind of feeling? Approach the half glass empty. Only the flesh and muscle of his left half has vitrified, not the bones and blood within. The glass is suffused with 1,000 fine frozen capillaries, like delicate red cracks running through ice. He fixes you with an anguished stare. Get me out of here! Why is his cell locked and not his alone? The others would not leave even if they could. Their minds are lost. The empty attempts a one-sided shrug. And, well, the Empire sent me here because I was smuggling sunlight from the Neath, back before the horizon closed. When I sold it, I told my customers that the light from the clockwork sun was toxic, and true sunlight was the only cure. Ended up causing a minor panic in London. I think one of the engineers locked me in because he took offense at my criticism, though. He gestures at his vitrified body, I stand by it. Clearly, you are right. I will help you escape. Thank you. His voice is hoarse, and he speaks in barely a whisper. You will need to find a permit for my release and present it to the steward. Forged, legitimate, I don't care. So 3 permits. We can do that. That's easy. Is it the guy in Azimuth that we need to give it to? No. What about the vault? Beneath the machine-bristling surface, you find a ring of 9 vault doors, each engraved with the name of a classical muse. 8 are locked and barred, behind signs saying things like vacant or under renovation, or in one case, unfortunate chronological discrepancies. The 9th, marked Terpsichore, is the only door open to you. When you enter, your footsteps ring through dusty barracks and abandoned canteens. These are the engineers' quarters, but they are all on the surface, working, except one. The broken steward has been working on the sun since before it shone. She's been here far, far longer than any of the engineers above. The broken steward makes her way carefully toward you, cane clacking on the floor. She has a markedly stiff-limbed gait, and her arms creak as she removes her helmet. She catches you glancing at her mouth and smiles even wider. Her teeth are shards of cracked glass, protruding at odd angles from her gums. It's not just the teeth, she says, with a brusque air that brooks no sympathy. Damn sun turned my bones as well. Terrible nuisance really gets in the way of the work. You notice her fixed neck, her stiff limbs, her careful movements. It's not too bad. Good thing I like soup. Okay, well, here, I'm going to give you 3 permits. The steward takes the permits, shuffles through them, then drops them straight into a waste paper bin. Seems to be in order. I don't know why we were tasked with keeping prisoners here anyway. As far as I'm concerned, my job is to keep the bally lights on, not mess around in politics. Come on, I need to supervise releases personally. Not that it's ever come up before. Her mouth is a grim line as she redons her helmet. With the occasional hiss of pain, she makes her way up to the surface. Entering the glass house, the steward can only stare in horror at the state of the prisoners. Has she really been so isolated until now? The sun. Broken, hateful thing. Damn it. Silently, she unlocks the empty cell. Then she quickly turns to leave. You hear something shatter. She limps away, knee crunching, leaning heavily on her cane. Thank you, says the freed prisoner. He pauses, struggling with himself, and simply repeats, Thank you. Shuffling awkwardly, partly assisted by your crew, the half-glass empty, boards your train. He doesn't know where he wants to go, he says, just away. Is he an officer? No. Was there anything more down here we could do? No. Looks like not. Okay. We could buy some of these munitions. We could go up to the Royal Society, but that would mean we have to go all the way around and back. I think I'm just going to head back to London. Let's see if we can find a good path to get to London from here. I bet it's just like right open there, but we'll see. Apparently the sun is so brilliant it turns everything into glass that it hits. That's pretty terrible. Hello? Are you good? Yes. Okay. Okay, a wall. We'll try up first. Lots of these things to assay. These windswept habitations. Go ahead and repair my hull, please. Nice. Like, that would have been a decent amount of money. Probably getting a couple supplies would have been better, but oh well. It's strangely quiet. That sounds like it's playing two different music at once. That's weird. I think that's bugged. That's definitely bugged. Okay. Well, maybe. Maybe that's actually just the music. It sure sounds discordant. Pay your respects. We're getting a real pronounced stutter, too. I think something went wrong. Maybe when I died. And we're back. Okay. Too bad we died. I feel really bad about that. I feel like we just had one really bad dodge. Here, get some more crew. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Help the amiable vagabond plot and escape. And we're just going to use a cryptic benefactor to skip past all this. When you reveal your plan, the vagabond seems deflated. I suppose it makes sense, he said glumly, scrunching up his heavily annotated blueprints. Rat bites, crimes are relatively minor. Defacement of property, impropriety, pickpocketing. It's relatively easy to ensure that the paperwork for her upcoming trial is conveniently misplaced. When you greet her outside the jail, she is half mad and half starved. You bring her aboard the engine in order for her to be given a full meal and a decent night's rest. When she's recovered, you'll quiz her about her old partner in crime, Quivers. Too bad we lost the crypt. I mean, that's, those are hard to come by. Okay, the most serene mausoleum wants crockery. I mean, the crockery doesn't sell for anything, so even if it is double price, it's like when you get seeds. We can turn in some point reports. More gratitude. And we can get, apparently, bookkeeper's trust. Sure. He considers you for a minute, tapping his pen on the desk. Then he nods. He communicates that he works for the New Street Line, an organization that arranges for work-world escapees to be smuggled to safety. If necessary, the line finds them new lives and new names. The authorities do not approve. If you want to help, you will need to meet his patron. He gives you a yellowing train ticket and shows you an address. It belongs to a fierce philanthropist, co-owner of the Steam and Sapphire Company. Okay. Well, let's request a meeting. You call at the fierce philanthropist's tall, stately house. Her secretary is a slight man with a drooping lip. He jumps up when you present your ticket and ushers you into his employer's study. She sits tall in her chair, a sherry bottle to one side, her papers to the other. She pours you a glass. Please, have a seat. Her voice has a hint of Midlands melancholy. What do you do? There is no line, the philanthropist taps a nail on her mahogany desk. Only the idea of one. We have conductors operating throughout the empire, reporting to me. I'll point you to one of them and they'll tell you where you need to go. Assuming, of course, you're ready to be responsible for another's freedom. I mean, the people in the work world are being mistreated, certainly, but they're criminals. I mean, they're not just like people that got rounded up and thrown into the work world. They're people that broke the law, that made promises they couldn't keep, or took debts and weren't able to repay them. But I'll help. For now. The fierce philanthropist gives you a nod. We don't handle that side of the business here, of course. Too dangerous for our other affairs. Speak to our man at the yards. She directs you to a firebrand conductor. Use the passphrase, bread for blood. Like where? Is it at the, is it here in London? Or is it, like, at the Brabazon Work Worlds? Oh, here it is. He meets you in a smoky station pub. The conductor is an itchy-fingered, studious young man, blazing with revolutionary zeal inside his oversized scarf. We'll free them one by one if we have to. It's a good job the clientele was raucous and utterly uninterested in your conversation. Inquire about the work. Everyone deserves the right to their own hours, to live them at the pace God intended. But on the work world, a pauper spends a month of their life to ensure an hour of rich man's luxury. The firebrand conductor spits on the floor. Those who escape from the work worlds are hunted. Our patron arranges passage for as many as she can. We look for opportunities, empty cargo trains, drunken captains who won't notice a few extra hands on board their trains. You know, I'm kind of feeling no. like, not only is this sort of, a prison break, it's also got this whole, like, political component to it. I think I stand with the aristocracy. We might do that eventually later, when we, like, run out of other things to do. Anything new here? No. So, in the bank, we have so many of these. Let's see if we can work our way into equipping. I closed it like an idiot. Explore. Let's grab, not that, this one. And this needs Veils at 25. And I think we can get to 25 if we just shift one of our officers. Yeah, so we'll have you instead of you. And then I just hired crew, didn't I? That's a mistake. Here, let's take this off and put this on. You see, the thing is that I think I'd rather just have this instead of the winch and pulley. So let's put these back away. Eventually, when we have more crew, I'll feel more comfortable doing that. But now I don't. So put that away and pull this back out. So now we're still at 23, 16 crew, but we can both mine and butcher. But not assay anymore. We apparently had a stained glass thing to Worldberry, but we don't have even the the amount needed. This needs to go to Parliament. We can go to that. We can do that one. Like, we have so much munitions. 3, right? Yeah. Can I get this? No, that needs mere 75. We have like so much stuff. I should just start selling some things. Making money. What were the bizarre things? Most Serene Mausoleum. You know what? Let's do that. I feel like I should spend some time making money. So 3 crockery, right? 3 and 3. All right. And we'll be able to pick up some stuff, of course. We can explore this little area too, and then we'll go up to Parliament. Maybe we'll go up to Parliament this way to see if we can explore around the back of it. I mean, technically, I don't really need either the mining or the canning. The butchery in here, I think probably would be more useful back in the Reach. But even then, I mean, we're already finding more like deals in the various ports than we can pick up because we don't have the hold space for it. I don't know. Oh, I need to talk to you. Talk to Ratbite over dinner. Yeah, you, Ratbite, and the Vagabond dine together. The Vagabond is laughing raucously, telling horrible jokes. Ratbite says little. She's gaunt, hollow-eyed, sharp angles and scars. Quivers was obsessed with fairy tales, she tells you. He said there were some skylark signs scattered about around the skies that no one knew the meaning of, not even the oldest skylarks. He believed they'd lead him right to the sugar-spun garden if he could translate them. He left this with me. He collected all the undeciphered signals except one. Last I heard, he was headed to Aklis? Which is another place I don't know. Okay. I do feel like we're getting many more quests sending us to places that we don't know. I'm assuming that they're in Eleutheria. So maybe we need to be thinking about heading to another map. Like, we've explored this one pretty well. Like, I mean, there's certainly still areas we have not been, but, like, look at the Reach. In the Reach, there were certainly a few areas we hadn't explored well either, and we spent hours here. We've been far more willing to just, you know, run around. Like, the only thing that I'm tempted to stick around for before maybe heading back to the Reach for a bit and progressing some more quests is that I know there's that weapon that you can get from with a Searing Enigma from a fluke. Hello? Ooh. But we need to have, like, terrors for that. And I don't really want to, you know, intentionally become terror, gain nightmares. But we could definitely use a better weapon by now. These just take so many hits. Oh, that's not gonna work. We don't have Ass Sang anymore. But this, consider. The monument reads, "Be you also ready." And we gained a Tale of Terror from it. That's great. What did it report? Monitor. Excuse me. Attending a funeral. That's a new one. The few mourners are willing to brave the long journey through the Reach to say goodbye to a loved one. Visitors are welcome to the extra chairs in the mausoleum's many chapels, provided they carry themselves appropriately. It's a calming way to spend a few hours, basking in lives well lived or taking solace in still having a future. Attend a deathless funeral, which will cost 100 sovereigns. Sure. A young baronet smiles with delight as he receives his bounty of hours. His funeral vestments are silvered velvet, his sepulchre polished marble. He shares the last of his wine cellar with all present before he is led away by the engraved mourner to his new and final residence. Port report. Contemplate the dead sun. Get a free vision of the heavens. Can we do anything new with you? Yeah, so this is new. Last time we did talk to the macabre counselor, but we apparently have a storyline. The Dismal Chamberlain. We're going to need to do all these, I'm sure. Which do I want to do first? Let's do the macabre counselor. Macabre! No, macabre. Several footmen are on hand to escort you from the nave and through the oak-paneled doors leading down to the catacombs of silence. Black candles burn in silver candelabras. Fading tapestries moulder on the walls. In glass cabinets, bones of saints and sinners are displayed with gloomy relish. The macabre counselor is in a maudlin mood, regaling you with stories of her youth and musing wistfully on past regrets. I have only one worth mentioning, my daughter. The Empress saw fit to take her from me as punishment, I suppose. She could be terribly petty, could Vicky. She examines you speculatively. I wish to have my daughter returned to me. Fulfill this commission, and I shall bequeath upon you a great reward. Okay. She is a hostage at Perdurance, kept to ensure my discretion. She hands you several charcoal sketches of her daughter, a pretty, presumptuous heiress with dark eyes, and a curly lock of her brown hair. I have an agent in place to assist and to conceal my daughter's escape. You will need invitations to access the half-light mask to effect a rescue. I only have 3 to hand. It's likely you'll need to secure more. Your mind returns to her use of the word hostage, an odd choice. Perdurance is said to be a place of endless delights where the children of society's elite dally in luxury. Surely it shouldn't be too much trouble to rescue one spoiled, presumptuous heiress from the lap of opulence, even if it is, as it were, the Empress's lap. I'll take 3 free invitations, though. And that didn't use up favor either. Good deal. Let's go ahead and speak with the Chamberlain. Your attempts to meet with the Chamberlain are met with relentless obfuscation. His secretary reschedules the meeting 8 times, eventually arranging it for 6 days ago. You even try waiting all day outside the Chamberlain's office, but he does not appear. His duties include regulation of time in the mausoleum, where the deathless wallow in generous pension of hours. However, the clocks are not keeping the same time. Has something happened? Finally, you manage to corner the engraved mourner and press him for answers. The Chamberlain is no longer in residence. We don't dwell on the matter. We suggest you follow suit. But that cost us favor. Okay, well, let's speak with you. Maybe put some favor back in exchange for terror. No, we don't need to do anything else here. But is there a way to pursue the Chamberlains? Yes. So, investigate the Chamberlain's disappearance. 87% chance. The deathless frown on any discussion of the matter among their servants, but you manage to befriend a group of footmen over a game of cards. It's an issue that's been gnawing at them. With the Chamberlain gone, no one has seniority over the sepulchre, and no one has permission to correct the clocks that go wrong. When I last saw him, he was descending into the deepest vault, says one of the footmen, laying down a king and queen of hearts. We're not meant to go down there, so I thought it was odd, but I'm hardly going to stop him, am I? Okay. Should we descend into the vault? Like, we're not supposed to go there. It isn't long before your legs are aching. The vault seemed to offer much more down than the footman implied. You passed your last coffin long ago. It seems there's nothing else here but dust and cobwebs. There are torch brackets on the wall, but no torches. At first you thank heaven you brought your lantern, but much further down, where the steps are crumbling away, you find the deepest vault bathed in harsh, red, unrelenting light. The floor cracks and creaks underfoot as though marble has become ice. Scarlet tendrils have crept, ivy-like, over the walls. When you pick at them, they crumble like scabs. When you place your palm against the floor, it comes away sticky, hot and red, as though you'd just thrust your hand inside a freshly slaughtered sow. The entire vault is stained with something, a sickness in the air and a wrongness in the stone, blood-like, but not blood. You search for the chamberlain for what feels like hours to no avail. If you return with bright eyes and a cold hand around your heart, you will find what you seek. Bright eyes and a cold hand around your heart. Is that talking about like the state of my soul, maybe? Hey, a free invitation too. Nice. Okay. Let's head east and around up to Parliament. Past the dead sun. And some fighting. Something down there. But I don't want to go past the horror. No point in getting some terror unnecessarily. Polo's Haven. I stand by my statement. The Reach is so much more pleasant than this. Even despite the bees. This is all rock and darkness and graves and glass. Windy. Oh, circus music. Is there a port down here? No. We got a wind though. Ooh, well, we've got quite a wind. Well of the Wolf. That's exactly what I was looking for. A hole in the sky. Torrents of celestial mist pour into it. Shelves of black ice poke from its throat. One of the shelves extends over the well mouth in a narrow spur. You will land, risk damaging your hull. And we did. We succeeded. When you emerge from your engine, the winds push at you like a schoolyard bully. The cold bites. Beyond the lip of black permafrost, the well-mouth gapes, wide enough to swallow worlds. Away from the edge, a cluster of hexagonal cave mouths perforate an icy cliff face. The yellow eyes of devils gleam inside them. Speak to them. You ask about their lives here. Silence. When you persist, one steps forward and opens his mouth as wide as he can. Plain song emerges, sweet, with a sonorous drone. The devil's lips and tongue aren't moving. The song is coming from deeper in his throat. You stand on tiptoes. The devil leans obligingly forward. You peer past his tongue, tonsils, his gullet, and see a large compound eye, insectoid, iridescent, peering back at you from his chest cavity. Okay. Having no useless cats? What? There is something inside the well. Whatever it is, the devils will like it gone. The devils trail you to the lip of the well, their faces weighted with expectation. Something is yowling plaintively from the abyss, something mortal and odiously off-key. You go on your stomach and lean over the edge, a hand thrust into the void. For moments there is nothing but the noise, nothing but the cold and the sense that you've profaned something sacred. Then your fingers brush against fur. With considerable effort you extract a round-bellied, snaggle-toothed, long-clawed lump of a cat. The devils are relieved at your success and insist you depart with the agreed feline as soon as possible. I guess we have a cat now. Is it an officer? Approach an idol. The shapeless idol looms over you. Someone has scratched jagged teeth around each of its holes, transforming them into many, many mouths. A heavy hook is affixed into the stone, just higher than you can reach, while at the base of the idol 2 depressions have been dug into the ice. The first holds a knout, with hooks knotted in its thongs. The second holds a buckled strap of something like leather. The right of the rack. This one increases my heart at the cost of irons and mirrors. We didn't do the last one. I'm not going to do this one either. Approach the bandstand. The journey to the bandstand is bleak and exposed. The well waits on either side. If you look down, you imagine movement in its caliginous depths. A temptation wells on you to fling yourself from the ice and into the abysm. The thing in the well begins to howl, and the winds scurry in search of kinder places. It is a hollow, keening sound, the distress of something that can't believe it still has more to lose. The ice groans miserably. Watch a well song. The well howls. You lack the tools to decipher the meaning of the hymn. The devils mount the bandstand and begin to sing. Their lips are motionless, their mouths hanging slackly open. Buzzing plainsong pours from their throats. The notes are scattered across the scale, creating only a tenuous harmony. Slowly they begin to shuffle on what might be a dance. Its movements are performed only with the feet. Are they drawing an alphabet? Hieroglyphs? The well's wail drowns them out, but they persist. After some time the well begins to waver. The wind slackens. Over the course of another hour, the well returns to quiescence. The devils, wearied, go back to their caves. The devils are using a dance alphabet. Maybe I can learn it. Oh, this would require a searing enigma. Ooh. And a moment of inspiration. Like, those are rare things. Oh. Try it. Decipher some of the dance alphabet of the devils. You've learned a great deal in your travels. You are sure the patterns of the devil's dance are a crude form of the correspondence. The hymn itself is only inflection. By morning you've assembled enough of a foundation to decipher the devil's next service. Oh. I don't know if that was worth a whole searing enigma. The bandstand is made from cast iron, modestly curlicued and pitted by the harsh weather. You find the manufacturer's mark and date. The components were wrought in the promised days just after London arrived in the heavens. While inspecting it, you feel the weight of the numberless fathoms below you. They pull at you. Perhaps, as a child, you dropped a stone down a less terrible well. Perhaps you listened for the sound of it striking the bottom. Now you imagine yourself as that stone, falling and falling. Well, maybe next time we come here we'll be able to learn more about the correspondence. Let's talk to the devil. In body, she is an older, even motherly deviless. She says nothing to him, though it's plain she recognizes him with pleasure. He, for his part, sits with her for a long time, telling stories of the Iron Republic, of London as it used to be, of Parabola. He talks the way one might at the sick-bed of a beloved, unconscious patient, as much for one's own comfort as for theirs. At last he runs out. "How did you ever reconcile yourself," he says, "to giving up the work?" She doesn't answer. Before he can go, she offers him a document on papyrus, sealed with wax. Help him sympathize with her? Help him direct his rage. I mean, this guy seems like he might be a little scary if he gets angry. Why don't you just help him sympathize? Perhaps she has grown tired, he allows. Perhaps she is gathering her strength again. I suppose that would be an understandable response. The repentant devil has become more inclined to withdraw from the world. Interesting. Okay. Okay, let's get out of there. Man, everything is a assaying thing here, and that's one we don't have anymore. Some grave right there. Probably just something that lets me reduce my terror. What is that? It's a ship leaving behind glass shards. A deranged dreadnought. It hits really hard. This is like the area around the sun. The deranged dreadnought is defeated. Loot the hold, you may find panes of glass. 61% chance, but apparently we'd also lose crew, perhaps. Just get some random treasures. One supply. Was there something I was supposed to go back to Parliament for? I don't recall. I think there was a Veils test that we were bad at. Excuse me. Hello? Hello? We've had bad experiences with these things before. Like, look how hard it hits. And where it moves really strangely, too. Oh, please get caught there. Oh my god! Please blow up. Oh! God, we've died twice to these guys. Oof. Oh, we just lost like 20 minutes. We lost the whole thing with the well. Oh. We were so close to Parliament, too. I should have just pushed past. Nah. Well, I'm a little disheartened. I think I'm just gonna stop here, and we'll remake some progress, or maybe I'll just maybe I'll redo some of that between parts. Either way, thank you for watching. Until next time.